hago? Ahora vamos a bajar.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Sí, cállate.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Ah, me
simply
puedo
missed a
agachar.
memo.
Me agacho, me agacho, me agacho, me agacho. Bueno,
When
vamos allá.
Stanley came to a
Pa'
set
acá
of
y
two
vamos a
open
bajar.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Vamos a bajar. Vamos a bajar.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
No,
Coming to a
jodete.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. No sé a dónde voy, pero no voy a subir. ¿Qué es esto? No es nada. Estupendo. ¡Coche! ¿Puedo
But
conducir?
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his
No puedo
post
pillar el
during work
coche, ¿eh?
hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
Sí, estás loco.
And then something occurred to
¿El
Stanley.
qué?
Maybe, he thought to himself,
Quizá
maybe
qué.
I am
Pues
crazy.
sí, lo estamos.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Eso
None
no
of
es
it made
distinta.
any logical sense.
¿Por qué ahora
And
es
as Stanley
distinta?
pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Hostia, ¿verdad?
Why did doors close automatically behind him? when
Eso lo he
he had
pensado.
moved?
Eso lo he pensado un
And for
montón de
that
veces.
matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Sí.
Were they simply repeating?
Sí.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
Está
He
dormido.
just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
¡Ah, mira lo que lo adivinó!
This is all a dream.
¡Claro, coño! Todo tiene
Oh,
sentido. No es que
what
estés en un
relief
juego,
Stanley
no.
felt
Es que
to
está
have
dormido.
finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He
Está
wasn't
loco.
crazy
Ese
after
está loco.
all.
Está loco.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Uy,
It
no.
was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Gran pregunta.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for
Apenas
himself?
puedo volver.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
¡Ah! Estoy muy
Now,
despierto.
hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
Y un
Did the voice not see
sueño.
him float and make the magical stars
sea,
just a
depende
moment
de
ago?
esto.
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
¿Qué?
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Vale.
So he closed his eyes gently,
Vale.
and he invited himself to wake up. He felt
Wake
the
up!
cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself.
¡Despierta!
I'm through with this dream.
Despierta,
I wish it
Miguel,
to be over.
despierta, que el
Let me
sol
go back
ya
to my job.
amaneció, que los
Let me continue
pajaritos
pushing the
cantan.
buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Yo quiero dinero.
All I want is my life exactly the
Yo
way
quiero
it's
dinero.
always been.
Yo quiero dinero. Yo también quiero
My
cosas.
life
Quiero
is
dinero.
normal. I am normal.
No, no eres normal.
Everything will be fine.
No mientas. No hay gente normal en este mundo.
I am okay.
Estoy de fruta madre. Me da contra la pared. Qué chachi.
Stanley began screaming.
¡Ah!
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone
I am
tell me
real.
I
I'm
must be
real.
real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Whoever,
Hello.
whoever,
Hello. Hello.
And everything went black.
Ah, chachi. No puedes saltar todo lo desbloqueado porque le estoy dando mucho al
This is the
espacio.
story of a woman named Mariella.
Uy, ahora sí mujer.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to
Hostias.
her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
¿Y se murió?
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a
¿Y cómo
few
salió?
brief moments, she considered the strange man.
Oye, ¿salió en el coche?
He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment,
Ay, sí.
she thought to herself
Yo me
how
veo al
lucky
espejo
she
todos los
was
días,
to
sé
be
cómo es un
normal.
loco.
I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
¡Ay,
I
no!
know
He
what
creado una
is real
epidemia.
and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
A ver, un muerto
But
te
then
hace
she
sentir
remembered the
mejor. Muy
meeting she
normal
had
todo.
scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
Ah,
She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there,
sí, es que es
staring
muy
down at the
interesante ver
body,
un cadáver, ¿eh?
and
Es
then she
increíble.
turned and ran.
Ah, bueno, venga. No llames a la policía, ni a la ambulancia, ni a su puta madre. Ah, ¿para qué? ¿Para qué voy a llamar a nadie? Cállate. Ah, vale. Vale, ahora tenemos que seguir para adelante e ir a la oficina y escaparnos.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on
Me
his
encantaría
left.
poder ir más rápido, ¿sabes? Estaría de locos.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase,
Pa'
Stanley
arriba.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Vale, una cosa. ¿Puedo ir al baño? Ah, mira, puedo ir al baño. Estupendo. No me veo en el espejo. Aquí no hay nada. Uy. El dinero en la mañana. Dinero... Siempre. Dinero... No sé qué. Dinero... No sé qué. Dinero. Vale, esto no contribuye a nada, entonces. De lo que he estado bien. Estoy dando todos lados, sí, no. No vas a decir... Has estado mucho en el baño. Baños extremos. Voy a ver un poco. A ver si me dice algo. Pues está en el váter. Y agua. Pero no veo que pueda tocar nada. Bueno, pues nada. Aquí hay otra puerta. ¿Puedo abrirla? Oh. Oh. Tío, ¿por qué eso de apuntarle a los osos panda? No lo entiendo. Ascensor. Ah, puedo o subir o bajar, ¿no? Subamos. Subamos. Siempre hacia arriba. ¡Oh! Oye, ¿cuánto tiempo vamos a estar aquí? Bueno, gente, como para la vida. Me voy a echar un poco de aceite de labio. El que está cantando es el raro. La puta. Ah, entonces es un bucle, o me lo estás diciendo porque ha dicho que más te me va a decir que es un bucle. Y me has asustado. Tremendo bucle. Bueno, vamos a ir para abajo entonces. Vamos para abajo entonces. Es que esto tiene... no sé. Ah, para abajo. Ese mismo sitio. Vamos para abajo. Va a ser igual el bucle para abajo que para arriba, no sé. Me he cansado. Vamos por culo. Ya fue suficiente.
Stepping into his manager's office,
Sí.
Stanley was
Y me
once again
decepcioné porque esto no
stunned to
funciona.
discover not an indication of any
¡Funciona,
human
maldita
life.
sea!
What could it mean? Stanley wondered
Sí,
aloud.
venga, dame el
to
código.
nobody.
Era...
He began wildly tearing through
2...
papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking
2,
behind
8, 4...
paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
2,
But his attention was
8,
caught by a
4,
keypad
5. Ahí
behind the
está.
boss.
Vámonos.
Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as
¡Calla,
quickly as
coño!
possible,
Que sí, que me quiero
he
ir.
didn't even have a single minute to just
¿Qué?
let the narrator talk.
Lo siento, pero quiero
That
ver
kind
más.
of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments
No hace falta que
with
me lo
some
jures.
calming new age music.
¿Qué me va a tranquilizar esto? Ya bastante me he puesto nerviosa que esta me dice no funcione. Oye, me quiero ir.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
Que sí, que me quiero
Stanley
ir.
calmly walked
Espérate,
forward into the opened passageway.
Venga, tranquilidad, ni que 8 cuartos. La tranquilidad te la quedas tú. Tú a poco. La tranquilidad. Tranquilidad. La tranquilidad la perdí el día que nací. Venía ahora con tonterías. Coño.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Sí,
that
sí.
read Mind Control Facility.
Sí, sí.
Although this passageway had the word
¡Escapa!
escape written on
¡Vámonos!
it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Bueno. Dale que morir, ¿no?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No, yo soy una persona muy decidida. Si digo que
At
voy
this
a...
point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward
Sí.
and willingly confront his death.
¿Eso creo? Si vuelvo para atrás, ¿qué me dices? Pero voy a volver para adelante. No me dice nada, pues sigo. Vamos a morir. Vamos a morir. Vale. Me tiro. Pues no se me ha muerto. Oh. ¡Ay! Esto
As
me
the
sigue
machine
pareciendo
whirled
corta.
into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
Entonces me voy a
Perhaps his
morir.
death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Ah, bueno, un placer. ¿Y me agacho?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
¿Tú quién
as
eres?
Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh. ¡Ay! ¿Qué? Ajá. Oh.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
Ah.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
No lo sé. ¿Tú eres su amiga? ¿O quién eres? ¡Oh, tu puta madre!
Perdón.
Iba a morir Stanley aplastado, pero la que he muerto yo de un infarto. Estupendo.
When every path you can walk
Quería llegar a la
is
parte de
created for you
aplastar, pero
long
llegué
in
tarde.
advance,
Yeah.
death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
¿Quién es esta?
Do you see now?
Yo
Do you
veo
see
blanco.
that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
¡Ah, qué chachi! ¡Estábamos muertos! ¡Qué chachi! ¿Dónde estoy? Un museo. ¡Ay, el museo de cómo se hizo el juego! ¡Ah, qué chulo! Esto me gustó de cuando jugué al... Ya no me acuerdo cómo qué juego fue. Me acuerdo que había un museo.
¿El Among the Sleep?
Ese, que había museo, exactamente, gracias. ¡Ay, esto está en español! ¡Perfecto! Diagrama de la oficina. Este plan nos muestra la oficina con medio del juego, caminos, sectores y cosas. Sí, que esté en español no significa que lo vaya a leer. Pasillo. Ritmo de sección y nada. Muy bien. Ah, mira. Qué bonito. Las dos puertas. La oficina. Siempre estuve muerta. Qué bonito. Sonido de botones. ¡Pah! Edición de sonido. Ah, diseño moderado de la gente. Qué guay. La oficina. Espérate. O sea, estos son los créditos de lo que hizo la peña. Que por la peña ha hecho un buen juego. De momento está interesante la cosa. ¿Esto dónde me lleva? Oficina del jefe. ¿Esto tiene salida o algo? Pues está interesante la cosa.
Stanley pushed the number 6. Let's see. Stanley walked. When Stanley came to the lift, he traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility.
Se cayó.
Es que eso no lo subtitularon, pero básicamente son las líneas que grabó mal.
Ajá, no sabe decir las cosas bien, ajá.
Para nada nos identificamos, ajá.
Victorio. ¿Cómo salgo de aquí? Porque creo que voy a ver cosas que no debería ver. Uy, se ha encendido aquí algo. Cuando me he ido. Mira. A la hecha. Mira. Ha hecho algo. Pues me acerco y se va. Ah, bueno, ahí pone salida, ¿no? Pues nos fuimos.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
Ajá.
How they both wish to be free.
Yo soy libre, ¿eh? No sé de qué me... Sí, no. No era...
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
No.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Ah, pues puede ser.
But listen to me. You can still save.
¡Ah, sí! Venga,
You can
vamos,
stop
sálvame.
the program before they both fail.
Vale, dime cómo.
Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
¡Vale! ¡Ya está!
Creo que eres la primera persona que veo que sí se sale del...
Oye, yo lo
Ni
hago...
siquiera sé,
yo
ni
lo hago-
siquiera sé si eso cuenta como un final.
No lo sé. Yo he hecho caso.
Me haría mucha gracia que vuelvas a aparecer ahí mismo.
This is the story.
No es lo mismo eso, sí, saltarlo. Eres
Bueno,
la primera persona que veo que
All
sí
this
se
chaos
sale del juego en vez de ver que la
What did it
aplasten.
mean? Stanley
me iban a
decided to go to
aplastar
the
de todas
meeting room.
formas.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Sí.
Vale, entonces vamos a hacer... No, porque ya me han cerrado la puerta. A ver, si bajo es un sueño raro. Vamos a no hacerle caso
When
una vez.
Stanley came
Y
to a
luego
set
sí
of
vamos a
two
hacerle
open
caso.
doors. This was not the correct way to the
Sí.
meeting room.
Igual ya
and
sabes, si
Stanley
quieres
knew it
luego,
perfectly well.
si se te acaban las ideas,
Perhaps he
ahí te
wanted
digo
to
yo
stop
como
by
de
the
una pista
employee
como de
lounge
bueno,
first,
puedes
just to
intentar
admire.
tal y ya tú haces el resto de la ruta.
Wow.
Vale.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Sí, estoy ansiosa, soy ansiosa. ¡Ah!
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ah, no, eso no me apetece. A ver, ¿qué es esto?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office.
No,
He
no me
wanted to
apetece.
wander about and get even further off track.
Sí, ¿por qué no?
So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Sí, ¿qué tenemos que hacer?
From here, it's, left.
¿Seguro? No ha sonado muy seguro eso, ¿eh? ¿No hay otra puerta? Es que no suena muy seguro, ¿eh?
Oh, no.
¡Ay, coño!
No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Pero no me cierres eso en la cara, me asusta.
No, not the right.
Oye, ¿te
Why
vas
would
a
I
reír de tu
ever said it was to the
madre?
right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Este señor no es muy profesional, que digamos, ¿eh?
Down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This
Vale.
story is absolutely, definitely this way.
¿Seguro? ¿Seguro de lo seguro? Segurísimo, porque... Bueno. Camioneta. Vale, a ver. ¿Dónde vamos? Ah,
No. This
No,
isn't
¿qué?
right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back.
pero
to
ya lo he
the-
visto.
Who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now.
Sí,
Whole
lo
story
arruinaste
completely
tú.
unusable.
Ya me-
How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm?
Pues no sé,
Okay,
tú sabrás.
From the top.
Ah, bueno. No, me voy a mover. Ya no me apetece.
Ok. Esto... creo que no va a funcionar. ¿Puedes cerrar la puerta? Porque esto sí es como de memoria.
No me
No,
deja
no
cerrar.
puedes.
Y ya me he
Pues
movido,
a ver
he
qué-
dicho que no me iba a mover.
Pues sí, a ver, quedémonos aquí quietos.
Vale. Master, ¿sacaste esa música de este
Stanley.
juego?
Sí. Por eso me sorprendía que la tarareara. Es como de, ¿se está acordando por qué la tarareo yo?
Porque también ha salido en algún vídeo del santuario. Por eso lo digo.
No recuerdo en cuál, porque sí sé que la usé, pero no sé en cuál la habré usado. Pero me hizo gracia que la recordara.
Es que yo, lo que es canciones, no me acordaré de los nombres. A lo mejor tampoco de la letra. Pero del ritmo, vamos que sí me acuerdo. Está clarísimo. Está clarinete, voy a beber agua. Ya que está. Agua. Tengo aquí como 3 botellas de agua. 2 vacías y la que estoy bebiendo ahora.
Yo tengo la que llevé al trabajo. Pero no le queda mucha.
Es de las grandes.
Es 1 litro, no es tan grande.
Mm. No nos está hablando. ¿Le dará igual que me quede aquí? Yo pensé que me diría algo.
Yo también, no te voy a mentir.
A lo mejor es uno de esos en los que tienes que estar como media hora o algo así parado y eso no me apetece, la verdad. ¿Teléfono? Me molaría tener zoom o algo para ver los papeles. Vamos a salir. Con 80 años ahí no
All
me
of
voy a
his
quedar.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ahora vamos a hacer una cosa. Vamos a tocarle las narices hasta lo del teléfono y pillamos el teléfono. Esta vez a ver qué pasa.
Perfecto.
When Stanley... Wait.
¡Ey!
Wait, what?
¡Ey!
No,
¿Eh?
I restarted. I swear I definitely...
Ah, vale, que todavía no
restarted
habíamos
the game
terminado con lo del,
completely
con el
fresh.
otro.
Everything should be...
Ah,
Oh, did something change?
pues no sé, pues parece no.
Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Ah, claro.
Move
Que...
the story
Oh,
somewhere
oh,
or-
no, no.
Hold on. Why am I
Pues,
asking
¿por qué me
you?
preguntas
I
a
know
mí?
I wrote
Yo
the
no-
story.
Yo no sé
It was
nada.
right here just a
Espérate,
minute
¿será
ago.
por eso que no
I'm
pasaba
not
nada
sure
ni
that it's
con lo
here
que dije la puerta
somewhere.
ni contigo quedándote
Okay,
quieta?
then.
Puede
Porque
ser.
estábamos en
Let
otro
me
final.
check. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Let's fucking go.
¿Pero por dónde?
Pito, pito, colorito, ¿dónde vas? Tú tan bonito, ¿en qué lugar? En Portugal,
Y
¿en
ahora
qué
saca la
calle?
mano de 25.
Portugués.
Ya conozco la
Toque
cultura
la
española.
mano que viene la vieja, sota, caballo y rey. Pues esta. Siempre por la derecha. Como en los laberintos, derecha, derecha.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
No te creo.
Do we need to restart the game again?
No sé, tú dirás.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
¡Ay! ¡Pero avisa! Bueno, creo que ha avisado.
Sí.
A ver.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What did
Stanley
me?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Ahora no va a
simply
haber
missed a memo.
puertas o algo así.
¿Esto estaba antes? No sé, no me sonaba. De repente. Y pasa por ahí 80.000 veces. No hay puerta.
Ah, pues sí. No lo recordaba. Entonces lo dije por decir. Pero tenía sentido.
Sí, la verdad es que sí, tiene sentido porque lo he
Why
pensado.
don't we go back the other
También.
direction and see if we missed anything?
Bueno. ¿A sus órdenes? Vuelvo a mi oficina.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
¡En mi oficina!
The story. Here it comes.
¿Pero en mi oficina? ¡Ah! ¿Dónde voy a trabajar ahora?
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Ay, yo pensaba que me iba a dar la vuelta y no iba a haber pared, pero no.
Súper claustrofóbico todo.
Sí. Bueno. Tío, Leyes Sofía, ¿dónde? ¿Dónde
Por si
Leyes
acaso
Sofía?
esto es más viejo que la Air
Well, I'll
Sofía.
be honest. I don't recognize this place.
Bueno,
at
el
all.
original es más
Is
viejo.
this the
Y este
story?
final es del
I
original.
don't think so. I can't quite
Ah,
recall,
se
but I
copiaron de
believe
este
my
juego, no
story
puede
took place in
ser.
an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
¿A mí qué coño me
Well, do you
cuentas?
know what?
Yo pensaba que era un
Since
señor
I've
con bigote
completely
y no tengo
forgotten what we
bigote.
were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So,
Gracias.
good job.
Gracias.
Oh,
Gané.
no, I don't feel right about
¿Por
this
qué
at
no?
all.
Me has dicho
We
que he
both
ganado.
know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Bueno, pero me has dicho
Some
que he
people
ganado.
win fair and
Ya has
square,
lanzado
and this was
confeti.
not one of those
¡Confeti!
situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen
Sí,
this
porque
time.
ahora hay una
I
ventana.
have to restart.
Ay, que ves algo reiniciado, compañero. Uy. Ah, ahora hay una
All right, I've got a solution. This
aventura
time, to
line.
make sure we don't get
Bien.
lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Supongo, ¿no? Pues no va para allá. Va para acá. ¡Resiste! A tomar por culo. Yo soy yo, lo siento.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Ah, bueno.
Ya se rinde como la línea.
Nah. Vale.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny.
Bien.
Here's a thought. Wouldn't
What?
wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence.
Lo que
right?
tú digas.
Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
Te estás liando, yo
Weird
creo,
back there? Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Puta. He vuelto atrás. ¿Y esto es relajante? ¡Esto no es relajante! Esto no es nada relajante. ¿Qué mierda es esto? ¿Qué le pasa a esta línea? Yo también me pregunto. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Quién mierda pintó esto? ¿Qué clase de droga se tomó? Yo quiero un poco. Zig-zag, 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 zig-zag. ¿Esto dónde va? No va a ningún lado. ¡Ay!
¿Qué pasó?
No sé.
Yo igual de confuso que tú.
Vale.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
¿El hecho?
Make sure you
¿Esto?
study it closely and
Sí.
remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Tiene hojas. Tiene cosa verde. ¿Es eso lo que me está diciendo? Vale, pues tiene cosa verde y es verde. ¿Qué pasa con ello?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
¿Sí?
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story?
¿Qué historia?
Is any of this ringing a bell?
Yo qué coño sé. Bueno. Oh, hemos vuelto aquí.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you. After everything
¿Por
we've
qué?
been
Si
through,
yo no sé nada de esto.
Oh,
No, la línea.
this anymore,
Ah.
with it.
Se está quejando de la línea, no de ti.
Ah. Vale. Ah, otra vez está aquí la puta línea esta. Bueno, ¿qué?
You know what,
Eh.
Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
Por
We're
liárnosla.
intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something
Bueno.
exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we
Ahora
simply
sí quieres
start
ir en
wandering
contra de la
well, I
vida.
don't know.
No como yo
How
cuando
about
quería hacerlo,
this
¿no?
direction?
Pero no sé, pero antes estabas diciendo, no, no vayas por donde por donde yo no te digo. Me ha jodido el juego. Y ahora estás tú ahí.
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything.
Muy bien.
What do you want our
Pero
story
esto
to
está en bucle.
be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Estoy en
Whatever
bucle.
it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Vale.
Ya no está en bucle.
No.
Pero haberte ayudado. No hice nada, pero haberte ayudado.
you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Pero no hay otro camino.
Vas a ser, sí, ignóralo. Estaremos bien, pero como asustado, como si te fuera a saltar aquí por la calle, como de si no lo miras, estaremos bien.
Ah, a choice. We
Decision.
get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
Bien.
How important we mustn't squander the opportunity.
Vale.
In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here.
Vale.
Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay.
¿Qué
So
cla-
I know that each door
¿Qué
has
clase
to
de
lead
persona crees que
somewhere,
son?
which means that
Bueno.
somewhere the place where we're trying to go
Ahora soy un
Eso-
ratón.
must be a reverse
Esa flecha soy yo hablando por
door
teléfono.
here. And that in turn
Yo me quedo
means that
sentada.
our destination
Yo no puedo.
corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us
Me he mareado.
ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And
Oye,
since
¿se
the
ve al
answer
revés
is
de la
clearly
flecha?
yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the
Nada,
correct
¿no?
one.
Vale.
Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley. Our destiny.
Vale, no te
awaits.
he estado mirando. Ah, solo me dejas ir por esta, no puedo abrir la otra. Ok. ¿Qué es esto?
El final de la confusión. ¿Has jugado el final de la confusión? 17 minutos, 36 segundos y bueno, y contando.
Hold up, what's this?
No lo sé.
Básicamente contaste el guión de todo lo que has hecho.
You're telling me that's what
Y de lo que no has hecho aún.
ending? And we're supposed to restart the game what, eight times?
Yo no quiero morir, ¿eh?
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Parece.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this?
No sé, ahí hay uno en el que muere y no quiero morir.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Vale.
I won't do it.
Vale.
And the timer stopped?
Ah, pues sí, mira.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
¿Sí?
Whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us?
¿Quién nos
Will
va a
something
buscar?
happen?
¿Mamá?
So, okay.
Sí.
I guess now we just wait, you know.
Ah,
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
¡ay! Ah. Lo han hecho en contra de su voluntad. Eso entonces ya...
Ese ya es un reinicio completo, ese ya fue el final.